When I was 15, my parents began going out on weekends, and I was assigned a babysitter. This babysitter, Erica, was a college student living nearby, who at first glance seemed bright and friendly. However, the nights spent with her always felt oddly off. Erica would sometimes whisper in the corners of the room, and when asked who she was speaking to, she'd always replied just a friend, though none of her friends ever visited our house. One Friday night, after my parents had gone out to another party, Erica came over as usual to look after me. The air felt particularly strange that night. Erica was more nervous than usual, constantly checking the time and sighing. When I asked if I had done something wrong, she just shook her head silently. Although I suggested playing games to pass the time, Erica didn't respond and quietly went to the kitchen. After a while, I could hear her talking on the phone with someone. The tone of her voice was sharp and seemed angry, but I couldn't make out the conversation. Suddenly, Erica returned to the living room and abruptly said, "Someone is coming over to pick something up tonight. Stay in your room." Confused but compliant, I did as I was told. From the living room window, I could see a car pulling into the driveway. Minutes later, the doorbell rang, and Erica quickly opened the door. Driven by curiosity, I eavesdropped from behind the staircase. The exchange was brief and stern, with the sound of something heavy being placed on the ground before Erica closed the door, and the person left. When Erica came back into the living room, her face was tense. Asking her what had happened, she dismissed it as nothing significant, barely speaking for the rest of the night. As the night grew later, she became increasingly restless, often peering out the window. Eventually, Erica left our house in a hurry before my parents returned, leaving me alone in confusion and fear. Upon their return, I told my parents everything about that night. The next day, we tried to contact Erica, only to find her phone was disconnected. No one in the neighborhood knew of her whereabouts. For days, we heard nothing about Erica, leaving me in a state of unease and loss of peace. Who was this friend she mentioned? And why did she leave our house so abruptly? About a week later, a large brown envelope was delivered to my front doorstep from Erica. Inside was a letter explaining her sudden disappearance. She wrote of debts from her past that she had been running from and the dangerous people pursuing her, which she was desperate to escape. The something she mentioned that night was needed to erase evidence of her debts. The letter concluded with a deep apology for using our house and exposing me to fear that night. Erica wrote she would not return, leaving us without knowledge of where she was or if she was safe.